Hi, I'm Ryan Jarvis, CTO of RockNRG, industry thought leader, and data definitions lead in the OSDU forum. Happy to be with you today for this strategic minute. Now, I'm excited because today we're going to talk about some of the motivations for why operators are jumping all in to OSDU. Now, the Open Subsurface Data Universe, or OSDU, it's not just about data and definitions. It's about having an open, standards-based, vendor-agnostic data foundation in the cloud. This is how they're going to reap all of the benefits that they need in order to move into the future and modernize their workflows and even make better business decisions. Now, of these 10 motivations, last time I got to speak with you about trusted data. If you haven't got a chance to see that strategic minute, go back and check it out and subscribe on my channel. Today, we're going to talk about two of these motivations. Actually, the very first one in this list, which is incredible because it's how we maximize value. And then we're actually going to hit sustainability as well. So come with me as we start to talk about maximizing value and sustainability in the cloud. Now, it doesn't have to necessarily just be in the cloud. It could be on-prem too. But think about it for a moment. Historically, operators have done things on their own. It has been very common for Chevron, Shell, BP, ExxonMobil to build their own data foundations and their own standards in their own companies. Now, what has this created in the past? And it's not just their fault. A lot of applications and tools, they create data silos as well. But essentially, it made it very difficult and challenging to maintain. They'd build up these behemoth systems, databases, repositories with like tons of data definitions that weren't necessarily compatible or consistent or a standard in the industry. In order for those to be used effectively, they had to create a bunch of connectors to all of their applications and tools and keep those connectors up to date. This wasn't sustainable. Well, today with OSDU, there is something pretty remarkable about a paradigm shift that's happening. So as far as being strategic, we're really looking at how it can be more cost sharing. Now, this is a great concept. Operators have done this historically through joint ventures. They've reduced the risk by joining together to drill a well. But today, we're actually changing the paradigm and saying, hey, why don't we build up technologies and data for our workflows together as an industry? That way, they'll be more sustainable. Instead of spending hundreds of millions of dollars in-house per operator, or even billions of dollars per operator, these operators can share the costs across a lot of the operators, and the technologies can be shared. Now, one of those technologies is OSDU, the actual data platform with the data and definitions. They're sharing the costs of building that platform. Now, are they doing it as fast as it possibly could be done? No, I think it actually takes longer being able to collaborate. Everything's longer in a committee. But what's interesting about it is it's cheaper because they're doing it together and this cost sharing, and it's more sustainable. Now, in order to understand the cost sharing, it's really good to think about how the industry is supporting and aligning. They're all in. So we just had a webinar today about the mining industry and BHP and others that are now all in an OSDU. This is new, and it's kind of wonderful to see that they want to have these standards for their data quality, their data trust, for interoperability across applications and workflows. They want this so bad because they know it's going to save them so much money and maximize the value for their organizations. As far as sustainability, there's this idea that this is future-proof, or OSDU is really future-proofing the way we deal with data and handle data in the future. It's remarkable to me that the approach to sustainability is collaboration and working with other operators. Even though they're all fierce competitors, data definitions and some workflows are, you know, they're standard enough and common enough that it really doesn't provide a competitive advantage. But if they were to be developed together, they would provide a greater future of sustainability. And this is across data definitions and technologies. So those open standards are critical for being able to future-proof the cloud for the energy industry. Now, finally, interoperability, one of my favorite topics, because this is where you can defy physics, meaning you can get rid of data management. Now, ideally, I would like to think that we wouldn't need to manage data anymore. In fact, because we wouldn't have to move data anymore or reformat it or hand off between one application to another application in our workflow. Wouldn't that be wonderful? Well, true interoperability is if we get our data in a centralized fashion in the cloud with our metadata, we can use multiple applications and tools without actually having to move the data. Like a public library, we can check out the data, use it in our tool, and put it back where it goes when we're done. I know that seems pretty rudimentary, but it makes a big difference when you're not having to govern and manage thousands of copies of data across hundreds of applications and tools. So interoperability will increase value and sustainability for the future for these oil and gas companies. And this really needs to be across both applications and workflows. Thank you so much for joining me for this strategic minute. Looking forward to the next one where we can tackle some of those other motivations from operators on why OSDU is the platform for the future. Thank you very much. And see you next time. Remember to subscribe.